So you want to start with some shallot in a food processor, and this is a shallot in case you don't know what that is. It's a member of the onion family, has a nice sweet flavor. And I'm going to add some chives, John. So here's some fresh chives. I'm just going to break those up and put them in. And we want a clove of garlic, which I think is already in there, and some marjoram. So I'm going to put some of that in. I like herbs. Do you cook a lot with herbs at home?
Yeah, mostly in roasting, and I don't do too much marination, but maybe the night before.
So I'm going to add some flat leaf Italian parsley. Now, I know you're thinking already about what wine is going to go with this. So you grind this up. So when you have the peppercorns ground up and you've got your herbs, you just dump that in a dish that you can marinate in. You don't want to marinate it in metal because the acid will pick up the taste. So go ahead and put that in. Not
a little
all.
too much? Well,
that's a lot of pepper.
Well, we'll have to get a lot of Italians.
A lot of pepper in there. I'm going to take just a little bit of that pepper out because that would be just a bit much. So let me get rid of that. All right, let's put the lemon juice in. And here, stir that around. And while you're doing that, I'm going to give this some lemon-flavored olive oil.
Good, nice.
I just think this is really nice to do with this dish.
Now, what does the acids and what does the oil do in a marination besides giving some flavor?
Well, it actually cooks the fish. It actually cooks it. So we're going to add a little bit of white wine here. Mix that around a little bit. So mix that around. And this becomes our marinade. We need some salt. If you can just grab a little pinch of salt there and get it in here.
We already have some pepper in there.
Yes, we have plenty of pepper. So now we have this. You can make this marinade. You need to make the fish in the marinade at least 48 hours ahead of time. So for this, I'm using salmon. And you can use salmon steak like this, or if you wanted to, you could use the fillet. I like using the steak for this. So while I'm doing this, I want you to start getting busy with your glass there. So
yeah, this is going to be a very pretty presentation. So I'm going to stick this in the water here.
Yeah.
And this is green salt, good for both.
This is sea salt.
Christmas and St. Patrick's Day.
Right. So I'm going to put
my
chunks.
This in the freezer.
My chunks go in the marinade. Like I said, you want to do this at least 2 days ahead of time. Now, if you're using the fillet, you're going to do a little different presentation. I wouldn't put this in a glass like this. I would do this on a plate because this is flat looking. But if you wanted to do, if you were only getting the fillet, then you could do this on a small plate. Anyway, there are our pieces. And once they're in the marinade, you turn them around. This is very easy. You just turn them around in the marinade. Make sure everything is evenly coated, and then it goes in the refrigerator. So you cover that, and I'm going to put this in the fridge, and you're going to get the wine that you think goes with this.
Well, since this is a dish that has a lot of spices in it already, and because it is fish, we already put white wine in it, we're going to continue with white wine. It's a Pinot Grigio, which in France is called Pinot Gris, and Americans call Grey Pinot. It's a fairly mild flavored wine, not too much alcohol, not too expensive, and it'll match up with everything that Marianne is making here.
All right, so should we taste first before I mound, or maybe I should mound first.
Mound first.
So you see how this looks. So then I simply take the chunks, and your glass looks beautiful with the salt around it. I add a few chunks. And then what I like with this is grapefruit.
Very nice idea.
All I did was segmentize some grapefruit. So I put, you could use pink grapefruit, white grapefruit, a combination, whatever you want. So you keep going like this, making a serving. And you don't want to overdo it. I think that...
Again, this is an antipasto, so this is the first course.
So again, a few pieces of grapefruit along the edge. And I like to do just on the top a little chiffonade there of some radicchio. And you could also add some of that marinade just around the dish, just like that. Okay, now I think I'm ready to sample. So, chin chin.
Chin chin.